Hello, hello. Good morning, Sprenheads. How is everybody doing out there? Out there. It's kind of cold over here. It is kind of chilly. Chilly on my end in the old Kingstown. Good morning, Gil. Good morning, Sil. There she be. Hello, Jasper. Hello. Good morning. Or whatever time it is. Let's see. Might be a little later for Jasper.
Almost evening for me.
What's that now?
Almost evening for me.
Almost
4 o'clock.
evening. 4 o'clock. Okay.
4 o'clock. Yeah.
Well, that is okay. Well, it's tea time. So I hope you're enjoying a hot beverage of some ilk.
I'm not. I was just doing some physics work, and then I saw the link, and I thought, I'll join in.
Okay, a little physics. Okay,
Yeah,
just some
good fun.
Yeah.
The worst subject.
The worst subject. Hello, Ashlyn.
Hello.
The worst subject is physics. Well, I don't know very much about physics, but I'll tell you this: I'm confident that I rely on it regularly.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, I am biased. I am studying it, so I do like it more than most. But yes, I think it suffers from a lot from like the I don't know what the equivalent is in America, but the level they teach for like 15 and 16 is really boring. 15 and 16-year-olds, in my opinion.
Okay, so 15, 16, that's
like,
grade 9 and 10, I think.
Yeah, I think for us it's 10 and 11, so it's a bit off. But yeah, it's all the really interesting stuff I learned outside of work, and I'm only now just starting to actually study the interesting stuff. So
wow.
Yeah.
So it comes a little later. We should probably bump that up, so to speak, in terms of our scholastic endeavors.
Definitely.
Well, you can fill me in anytime you like about things physical, because I other than the Olivia Newton-John album, I don't know much about that which is physical.
Don't tempt me. Go off on a rant.
You go off on a rant. Okay, very cool. So we have just we're chatting on with a few of the folks last night, Ashlyn being one, and we were going over what we had recently recorded, Sean and I, which was yesterday. We did an episode, and this was Middlefest. So that's what we had done. I think Sean's connecting now, which is good because he can help us out with what we've just released this week.
Hey,
there he is. There's the guy.
As if, okay, hold on. There's 3 more people other than Jack on before I get on. You guys are on this thing right now.
They were on it. They were on quickly. I didn't even get to talk about, well, I talked about it last night, so I didn't even get to talk about this Cologne fiasco that I've got going on. Normally I only have one on the go.
You mean your scented Vaseline? Is that the one that you're talking about?
It's not Vaseline. This is not petroleum jelly, although petroleum jelly we owe a lot to. Let's face it.
We also owe a lot to the song Vaseline by Stone Temple Pilots, just for good measure.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Big song of theirs, not my favorite of theirs. Yeah.
Check 1 2. Okay, I got my microphone working. Hey,
I think I'm recording this. I hope it's going.
When I joined, it said recording in progress. So you are definitely recording it. So what's up, everyone?
Scented Vaseline. Get out of here.
Come on.
It's called Solid Cologne.
I think who made the Blistex joke last night? Someone said you were just I was putting Blistex on my
Blistex on your face.
On my face.
It's
scented
Joe.
Blistex. Hey Joe.
Dude.
Okay, so give me 1 second here. I'm just doing some production stuff, figuring out what
production stuff. Well,
just to talk about the episodes this week. I'm just refreshing my memory and the whatnot.
You know who's got the chops for the production is Ashlyn.
You know what we should do is these three
He
here,
was
these
so fast.
these three people that are on right
Wow.
now have all shown interest in it. So maybe we should put a production team together and they can start going through info for us. Yeah,
so they can
they pay to become patrons and then we make them work. That's what happens. Oh, you want to be part of the club? Guess what? You got all this work to do now.
have we announced our charitable efforts yet?
No, that's in the new year. We're going to be talking about that in the new year for
Okay.
sure.
Yep. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
The episodes that were released today are the one where he catches his sword. This
Right.
Is this it? This is the one?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Oh, the one today. Yes, this is the early episode. Yeah, the early access one. Yeah. This is the confusing part about doing the Ugly Mugs is that we have the episode we just recorded, Jack and I. We have the episode that was released and also the episode that's about to be released or is released depending on when we record the episode.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
It's very confusing. Wait a sec. Are you chewing on cussweed here? Like what's
I
going
am.
on
This is
in your...
this is Yama root right here.
Is this Yama? Okay.
Yeah.
You rocking the Yama root?
Yeah. If Yama root is like gum, I'll chew it. But if it's like chewing tobacco, I'm out. Sorry.
So you've actually tried. So have we settled this? You've tried chewing tobacco?
I have not. No, I have not. But it
Okay,
looks really gross.
Well,
Not to insult anybody that likes that stuff.
That has put the tobacco inside.
I can't
the
speak.
mouth.
I smoked for years, so.
So did I. I admitted so last night.
We Jack and I smoked some sneaky cigarettes when we went to the cottage.
We did.
A month
Yes,
and a half
I was
ago.
bad.
And
I'm the bad one.
You're the one who got me to do it.
I
yeah.
got you to do it. I'm sorry. I just we were footloose and fancy free, and
Footloose?
well, we wouldn't be Dirty Dancing.
Well, hey, whoa. Why'd you got to bring that up? Why you gotta shit on Dirty Dancing all the time?
Why do you gotta give me a paper cut and pour lemon juice in?
I don't think that there's a war. This isn't the Beatles and the Stones. There's no war between Footloose and Dirty Dancing. They can both...
I don't participate in any war between Beatles and Rolling Stones. I think it's preposterous. I think it's ridiculous. No, there's no rivalry there in my universe. I can't.
Right.
I don't have room for it.
Okay, so this episode. So let's talk about episode 18 that was released on Wednesday. This is the episode where Sadius and Amaram are on the battlefield. Amaram ends up coming in and kind of like undercutting the other high princes and like wins the day. And then remember he throws the gem heart to their feet and says,
right,
I saved you a bunch of time or whatever. The other half of that chapter, he ends up going to the dueling arena and watches Adolin fight and realizes that Adolin is pretending not to be as good as he is so that he could probably get more interest in the duels. So, and then the next chapter is when they stop at that like weird overhang rock formation that ends up having this like nice little grove of plant life that ends up growing in the middle of the Frostlands. And Shallan just loves it and like immerses herself in drawing again. And it's like our old pal Shallan kind of coming back. So what did you think about these chapters, Jack?
Well, of course they're amazing. I just I love the fact that she is she's such a weird character in that she's got so much on her plate and yet she still stops to like smell the flowers, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat.
It is really cool. It's literally to stop and smell the flowers.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I'm so excited though, really, that the band's getting together, so to speak, and that these characters are finally merged.
Yeah.
As you were saying, what's so exciting about this book with Words of Radiance is that going from chapter to chapter, you can go in between these characters within one chapter.
Right.
Whereas before it was always just, one chapter dealt with this person. And
yeah, I love that. That's the closer our characters get to each other physically, they get closer to each other in the novel as well. Now, in the I think that's the episode that's about to be just released here. The one that is going to be released on Wednesday that the Discord team, the Patreon team got to listen to this morning, or will get to because it's out. in that chapter, it's a Kaladin POV, but we get a small Shallan POV where Pattern is buzzing during the high storm and says, "Bad, so bad." So it's really cool that our characters, and it starts for Shallan and Kaladin when they meet. When she steals his boots, they start being able to have POVs within the same chapter.
Right.
It's like they meet, and so the purpose of them meeting is so that he can bring them literally together in the chapters. I love that. I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Pattern is such an interesting character. He's what have we said over and over? MVP.
No treat right now. I'll get you one later. I tried to set up being able to do this after my wife left with her friends, and while my kids are eating. My kids are done eating. Literally, they ate in 5 minutes. Normally, it takes them 45 minutes to eat. They've literally vacuumed up the food, and my wife's friends are here, and now they're all talking upstairs. So it's absolute chaos right now. I apologize. I wish I could mute myself, and you guys can just talk here. I'll mute myself for a couple seconds.
It's ugly. This is what we do.
This is as ugly as it gets.
We do it. I just don't get any traffic in my dungeon, so I don't have anybody around. Typically, if I did, it might be a little frightening. What are these secret? What are these hand signals
What?
that Sean is doing? He's like, is he? Are you?
Oh, I wasn't
Sorry.
looking. I'm.
She's literally doing producing job.
Oh, she's
well,
no.
Actually, what I'm doing is my dog ate my book, and so I'm pulling apart. the
Right.
book.
Oh, that's right. You
Right.
showed that on you showed that on the Discord. That's horrible. Denver Rose had a good job that these words were accepted. Yum yum or something like that. That the dog was the one who was accepting them. That's really good. That's really smart. Okay, so a couple of things here, Jack, that I wanted to talk about to expand on. You said this is the second POV we get with Sadius. So the first one was a tiny little POV where he talked about how he also grows tired of the war, even though for different reasons from Dalinar. This one here is we fully get him a POV from a battle standpoint and also a Spectre standpoint watching Adolin. One of the things I think that you kind of talked about a little bit, I'd like you to maybe bring it up again, is his relationship with UGGLY and how he's this despicable man, but he's kind of tender with her. It's an interesting kind of side of him.
I remember from that. I wish I had that. I wish I brought down the book with me. It was silly. I left it by my bedside. I remember in the reading of that she seemed to have, in my opinion, had quite a bit of control over him.
Right.
In terms of like what he was to do, and even in some ways how he was to think.
I think so. I think it might come off across like that. One of the ways that I read it is that he has said repeatedly about her that he respects her cunning. And so maybe he defers to her when it comes to certain things,
right?
Because he knows she's better at it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, when they talk about paying people off to stop them from dueling Adolin, she's the one who's kind of organized that and orchestrated that whole thing.
Right.
And then he says, maybe don't push the issue now. Let us see what if Adolin can get any duels. Maybe it might work out for us. So he does defer to her for some things because she's just good at some stuff.
So he's not afraid to sort of, I guess, tip the hat when it comes to expertise.
Yeah, he doesn't have to be completely in control, and even more so of their relationship. I think their relationship is there's two of them in the relationship. It's not just a high prince and his lady, kind of like how we would expect Lynn Devard have treated his wife and his second wife, and how he's the mainstay and she's just a piece on his side. Sadius and UGGLY seem to be a partnership, and I mean, they're bad, but they're awesome at the same time. They're great.
Are we going to get more of Sadius's wife in the series?
Well, she's definitely in the rest of this book.
Okay.
Well,
so even that's a little spoiler for me. I'll take it.
Any little spoilers?
That's a little. Here's a little bit right there.
This book has an ending.
Spoiler. Wow. Jeez, an actual denouement.
Yeah,
a denouement.
Okay, so that's kind of all I had here. I did want to mention the shoot, I brought up the wrong page. The artist who provided our art for this episode. Okay, hold on, my wife's leaving. Bye, have fun.
Thank you. Remember, you gotta...
I'm blowing kisses on the show, not to you guys, but to okay, bye. Yeah, I know I have kids. I remember. She's just like, make sure you pay attention to your kids. I'm like, my kids aren't even going to care about me after you leave. So
are you kidding? I think they're going to come right down and
yeah, they're going to sit right on my lap. It's
you.
going to be ugly mugs, 3 mugs on this side.
Yeah.
Sorry, hold on. The episode we published. Oh, I should just be looking at Instagram. It's much easier to look at Instagram. Oh, here comes thing 1.
Daddy,
Yes, honey.
I told you.
balloon gets smaller and smaller.
It's because the air's running out. Can you please go upstairs and watch your tablet for a bit?
No.
Daddy's only going to be on here for another 40 minutes. Okay, so the episode art that we used for this
She's like,
episode
"No."
was exactly is I don't know if you guys can see this on the camera. Oh, that's my phone.
No, that's your
this is Vatha,
right.
a picture of Vatha by Lamoury and the Cosmere. She has been so kind to us, letting us use. I literally message her like once a week, once every 2 weeks to find out if we can use some of her stuff. I find that she draws some of the moments in the stories that no one else. Hold on, there's a train going on behind me. Okay, Fiona, no, you're not allowed playing with the train. Oh, jeez. Seriously, you can't do this right now.
This is raw and unedited ugly mugs right here. That's what we have.
Upstairs, please.
I found the first POV of Toral Sadius,
You did.
and one quote that is a little bit like that really shows the partnership is UGGLY was one of the most dangerous women he knew.
Right.
And
yeah,
then
I got a feeling from her that she's just a little more I guess instructive, or maybe what would be the word to say, like that she's pulling some of the strings of Sadius, even, is really what I want to convey, I suppose. I mean, not that he isn't his own character. It's just that I don't know. She seems to have this kind of elusive power or presence.
You talking about UGGLY?
In their dynamic? Yeah.
yeah,
I like it.
I found the first POV
Okay.
from Sadius, which I just said this was he said she was the most dangerous woman he knew.
Right.
And then also that she ran the most impressive spy network in
right.
their camps.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. So
it means that. So she's got all the information coming in. So do you think she shares all of it with Sadius?
I think that the two of them are completely honest with each other, even though they might not be honest with anyone else in the world. I think they tell each other the absolute truth. There is a moment, though, in that first POV where he finally tells her he's been growing tired of the war, and it's something that he had been holding back from her,
right?
Because he was, for himself, I think he's thinking that he's ashamed because an Alethi is supposed to want the war all the time, right? So I'm not sure if I'm remembering that properly, but I think there is, in that chapter, he says that he had been holding it back from her, but he finally tells her. Okay, so we run out of time here on this show very, very quickly because we're using the free Zoom version, so it's like only an hour. There are some really awesome questions here that I have written down that were written on the Discord. But first, we have 3 people that are with us. So why don't do any of you have anything that you want to ask first, or you want to kind of talk about?
Actually, you just said earlier a fun thing. So you said like about joking about how the book has an ending, right? Don't worry,
right.
no spoilers. Don't worry, because But I just remembered a fun fact about the title of the book. So at the end of Way of Kings, Yasna gives Shallan a book called The Book of Endless Pages.
Right.
And the book was originally going to be titled The Book of Endless Pages. Named after that book instead of Words of Radiance.
Oh, okay.
But Brandon was forced to change it because his editor said, Brandon, you can't call a 1,300-page book the Book of Endless Pages because people just make fun of it.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was just reminded of that. I like that
That's
story.
that's cool. So sorry, hang on. Was it written as the Book of Endless Pages in Way of Kings, or was edited to the Words of Radiance?
No, so they're two different in-world books, and Brandon was
Okay.
initially gonna name
Oh,
Words
I
of Radiance
see.
after one
Gotcha.
in-world book, but named it after
Right.
the other one.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that's
cool.
still a very fascinating book that Yasna gave her, this Book of Endless Pages. I don't remember whether or not that survived. That didn't survive the attack on the ship, so she lost that book, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't. That wasn't
Mhm.
recovered in Yasna's trunk because that would have been with Yasna's stuff, not or with Shalon's stuff, not Yasna's. So that Book of Endless Pages is gone now. So thank God he didn't name it after that, because that thing would have been just sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
True.
Okay, I've got to ask you guys this
Okay.
again, and I'm totally guilty of looking for spoilers. Are we really done with Yasna? Is it done? Is she absolutely dead?
I've told you that
She's done.
I see her as a newer version of Gavilar. Through all of Way of Kings, we have Gavilar in our lives, even though he dies at the very beginning of the book.
Right.
Dalinar quotes him. Everything that we're doing is because of him and his death. So he looms over that whole book, and the same
So
thing happens with
Yasna
Yasna.
Okay.
Yasna dies at the beginning, and then her presence, just like her father, looms over the entire book.
Hmm.
So I think that it's like a representation that she's always with us.
Right.
You know what I mean? The person who died too soon, who it's like that. Have you ever seen the movie Cube?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you know in Cube they go and they find the guy. His name was like the Renard, and he's like
Yeah.
the smart guy who like says suck on a button, it'll create saliva that you can drink. He's like, you have to do this and do that, and he literally dies 5 minutes after they meet him.
Right.
The most useful, most talented
Right.
person in the story dies at the
The
beginning.
survivalist. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me think like that. Like
Yeah.
Yasna is the person who's got it all figured out and has the, she's been working on her powers forever. She knows a
Right.
lot about Shadesmar, and then she's dead.
And then she's done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's really cool about the title, the Book of Endless Pages. And you're right.
Mhm.
I think it would have been the fans' eternal mocking. It's what would have happened.
Yeah, probably.
If that had happened.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Joe or Ashlyn, do you guys have anything to ask before we get to the questions on Discord?
Who's your favorite character?
Oh, geez, that's a straight up
This
one.
one changes probably.
Well, mine, of course, was Yasna. I think it is Yasna. If I had to pick one, so yeah, if I had to pick one from this book only, geez, I don't know. I may have to pick Shalon right now. I think. Yeah, Shalon with Vale and all of her accomplishments. Yeah, she's really doing it for me. Yeah,
She's awesome.
Shalon. Oh, although it's Adolin. Oh my gosh! So last night we were discussing the way to say this name, and apparently in the Kramer versus Kramer, or whoever's doing this audio thing, there's a Kramer in there, I think.
Yeah. He says Adolin.
He says Adolin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but we know, we've said this in the show many times.
Yeah, you can.
Sanderson said that you read it how you want, right? The right way is the way you read it. So
right.
So, but the wrong way is sometimes when I call him Aladdin. I think I call him Aladdin a couple times.
Well, that's okay.
I switch the D and the L. Alodin. Sometimes I say that.
Yeah.
Those are definitely not right.
Yeah.
Like you can't. There's no word of Brandon that will. He's never going to say even if you read it wrong, it's still right. Like he's never going to say that.
If we can get to Adolin, it wouldn't be a far stretch to get to Alfonso. It really wouldn't be.
Alfonso.
Yeah. Wouldn't be that far.
Like Ribeiro?
We could get there. We could get there.
Like the Carlton dance guy?
Yeah.
Joe, do you got any I guess my favorite character, I guess, is I mean, it's hard not to pick
Lopen.
It's hard not to pick one of the main characters.
Right.
But but I have made it pretty clear that the Lopin is
The Lopin.
he's the MVP of every scene he's in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like best supporting actor. Like he's your like he's like he's like sixth man of the year in the NBA. Like he's the guy who comes off the bench and puts up 25 points and 3 blocks. Like the dude is amazing. He comes on, first thing he's like, yo, you want to pick me? I'm awesome. And then he ends up being awesome.
Yeah.
You know, he's got one arm, he's got a gurney tied to his waist with a rope. He's carrying things of water. He's the one who tells Kaladin, you know what? Why are you guys measuring stuff? Why don't you just see if you can use this stuff in a fight? Wouldn't that be smarter to do? And it ends up being amazing.
He's got cousins that just keep coming out of the cupboards.
Yeah, he just keeps multiplying cousins.
Yeah, because
I think the Lopin is
the
is my
Lopin.
MVP.
I
just
like
love
the
his
Lopin. That's going to be it for me.
Yeah.
It's the Lopin. Yeah.
That's how he introduced himself. So
Yeah.
that's how we have to pay respect to
The
where
Lopin.
it's deserved. But yeah. So Buzzkill Joe, do you have something?
Well, I
That
think
depends on how strapped for time you guys are.
well,
Oh, geez.
let's try. Oh, whoa.
How about
gee,
we
that-
put it on the back end then?
Oh, I don't know. I think you should lay on the question because then we can think about it, and then if we can get through the other questions in time, then sounds like
Yeah,
you've
that's a
got
good
something.
idea.
It sounds like you've got something to say, pal. This is
No, not so much that as it could be more exercise and kind of anticipation since we've been going,
Ooh.
or at least you guys and Ugly Mugs, ton of my friends. There's a lot of fantasy stuff that's been adapted lately. You have Wheel of Time,
Yes.
Mhm.
Arcane, which I thought was excellent, and I know nothing about League of Legends.
Right.
But every time I hear this, and then you get that debate for the hopefully inevitable Stormlight adaptation,
Right.
is whether it's animated or live action. I don't even really want to go into that because every time I hear that, my mind really goes to what I would put as the first teaser for Way of Kings. At first 10 seconds to 30
there was
seconds.
a question. There was a question written. I think it was Ashlyn Lee said that I think you asked on the Discord, what would a trailer look like for these books if they were turned into
Really?
movies? Which is
Right.
kind of what you're getting at, right? Like
Kind
if
of,
you were
yeah.
to if you were to
What would-
condense
even
Way of Kings
trailer.
into a teaser, what scene would you want to use, kind of thing?
Yeah, not even that. Like every time my mind goes to this, but I always, especially when I was first reading the books, really focused on the 10 heartbeats or summoning of a shard blade. I know, and especially Jack, but you guys are kind of sound guys. I'm not. But that initial teaser, they really have to lean hard into that. And I know we're
Yeah.
talking about something that's probably 10 to maybe 20 years away.
Right.
Oh gosh, I hope it's not that long.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to be in the hospital by then.
Ashland's like
Potentially, right?
I don't know what you guys are talking. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
20
we're the
years,
two-
I can wait that.
We're
no
the two
problem.
old farts over here. We're
Yeah.
going to be retired in a home.
Yeah.
Jack, did you see the teaser for Starlight?
We'll have to ask these guys to push us around the Stormlight,
Yeah.
Convention or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
the
wheelchair.
we're gonna have to have.
Oh, here
instead of
come
a
the Storm
Patreon
Pod
team,
lads.
It'll be a nursing team that we'll have to.
Like if the Wheel of Time does well, I think Brandon's books are the next one to go to logically.
I
Because
would-
he finished the Wheel of Time.
Agreed, but
So
I
I
think it's
would
Mistborn
agree.
first. I truthfully think it's
Yeah,
Mistborn
I do.
first.
I agree with that.
It's
And I
more
think that's a good
cinematic.
idea. Yeah.
There's more
Mistborn
action.
is more cinematic.
And it's not as overwhelmingly huge and deep. It's good. It's intricate. It plays a little bit like kind of like an Ocean's 11 style team up.
Ocean's 11 is Mistborn.
Kind of, yeah. Everyone has their own a job that they can do, and there's a team assembled.
Yeah, but that could be
it's-
X-Men.
That's the first book. That's
It's
really
a
just the
fantasy
first one.
heist. It's a heist.
Yeah.
The first book
It's
is
a heist.
Yeah, the first
Okay,
book
it's
is a heist. Yeah. So
Okay.
I think it plays better for media for sure than Stormlight. But if we're talking strictly about Stormlight, I think that there's no reason why you can't have both animated and live action. I think that you start with animation, though. I truthfully believe that in order to get people to love it, like if you can get people to love Stormlight, an animated Stormlight show, as much as people love Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you can achieve
Right.
that kind of following, then there's nothing that you can't do. Like, you know, it's just, you know, we already all love it. The book readers love it, but I don't know. It's Wheel of Time's doing a good job, and I'm willing to look past some of its mistakes because I just love seeing some of these characters on screen. I think it's fantastic and fun. And I know that there are a lot of really amazing scenes coming and a really amazing acting potential and stuff that's to come. But as for Stormlight, I think that if Jasper's right, if Wheel of Time is successful, which let's hope so,
Right.
only in so much that means that Brandon Sanderson's stock will rise because of his involvement in as a producer on the show and, you know, as a writer of the novels as well. Hopefully his clout and his stock will rise, that studios will want to invest in him. And if that ends up happening, which I think that it will eventually happen, we'll be looking pretty.
I think to answer that trailer kind of question, and I suppose for me, my initial thought is when I imagine a trailer for this, it would definitely be live action.
Right.
I imagine a very slow materialization, if you will, into the camera view, where you're coming in from mist, like from nothingness into existence, and you're getting a slow camera pan that's going along the shattered plains very slowly, and then you're hearing that text, Journey Before Destination, and what you're getting is then a figure standing there with the cloak at the cliff's edge over a great divide in the shattered plains,
Like
and,
on the cover.
like on the cover, and then you have the slow materialization of the blade in the hand, and that's it, and that's all you get is the blade forming and the text, and that's how I. If you would ask me how I would just off the top of my head, you know, think of an opening, that would be the trailer for me. Is the shattered plains, and then of course it would need to have the view of that other character across the divide, because I still think that that's a big thing for this whole story, is that, you know, the two shall meet. There should be some kind of a reckoning that takes place with those that stand on one side of the shattered plains and those that stand on the other.
That's cool.
I think that's
if I had to come up with an idea for something in that vein, I definitely like the idea of one solid 30-second scene as opposed to a cut of, like, you know, 8 different scenes all cut into a 45-second spot.
right.
I like the idea of showing, like, you know, an older man and a young man, a king and his uncle on a hilltop, and the nephew jumps, the uncle follows, then a gigantic monster rises from the crevice and the uncle catches the claw, and it just ends like that, and you just got like a Way of Kings kind of like sprawled across the screen. Like, just show straight up, don't show everything,
the biggest
just show
moment at the
one
beginning.
really cool moment to set up, like, this guy in the silver armor is amazing, and then just go from there.
I think my description was just a teaser. That's not a trailer necessarily.
That's what I'm talking about too.
Right. So
I think
I
did
question, a teaser. Right? Okay. Yeah.
I think the question was teaser anyways. So I wanted to quickly, before we move off of this and go to more questions,
I want 7 minutes and counting.
Oh, we do? Okay, this is going to be pretty quick then. I am going to okay, you know, we're not going to do this actually right now. I wanted to play you guys an excerpta of the new dramatic theme music that Jack just wrote for us. He you know, at the very beginning when we do the cold open, we do the dramatic read, there's always a little bit of music in the background, and I've tasked Jack with coming up with different kinds of, you know, lighter ones, airy ones, kind of foreboding ones. So he came up with one called Lost, and I wanted to play for you guys. You might just have to wait a couple months until the episode comes out now, but I couldn't figure out the technologies of pushing buttons. So
okay,
let's,
no worries. So
let's
there's
go
there's a couple of quick questions. There's a question from
quick
Wolf.
Question.
So from Werewolf, what was it now?
What's the one movie that you watched too early in life that terrified you when you were young? Have you seen it since?
Yeah. So the answer to that is undoubtedly, I saw Friday the 13th when I was a little boy at a sleepover, and I really should not have seen that movie.
I think we've talked about this already, or maybe
at
on the
that
Halloween
young-
episode.
Yeah, I think we
and-
did. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it really frightened me, the idea of this killer going around killing people in the night, and the makeup. I gotta hand it to that guy. The guy who did the makeup for the original Friday the 13th was really brilliant. Like, he did some really excellent work there. But I saw it way too young. It gave me nightmares for years, and it took me a while to come around to liking these slasher films, which were so much a part of the early 80s.
Mhm.
I had to learn how to love these characters. So that's the one for me.
Yeah. I
Too young.
mine was, I think I mentioned this in the Halloween episode. Mine was It by Stephen King's
Oh,
It.
yeah.
My actually, the thing that I scared about is when my kids just can't stop going, Daddy, Daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, honey.
Well,
I'm muting.
a very close second for me of that which terrifies me still to this day would be Mamma Mia. That's my the bane of my existence. I'm actually, I'm really not kidding, but I'm not talking about the film. I'm talking about going into this show. I went to this live show of this Mamma Mia thing, and it was, I felt very, I don't know, very strange at the end of the film. I don't really like big audience participation kind of stuff, and at the end of this, not the film, at the end of this production, everybody gets up and starts dancing to ABBA, and I just felt so like embarrassed. We were all doing this mom dance. Everyone has their mom jeans on. You're all doing this dance. It was my nightmare. So that's why I say Mamma Mia.
All right.
Nothing to
So
do with the film.
I'm gonna shift this conversation to the other question here. I really like to. I want to the Ashlyn question about what parts of the book would you highlight in a trailer. I want to kind of refine that question just a slight tad and say, if you could pick one scene that you, not that you're inventing for a trailer, but one scene from The Way of Kings to be in a trailer, what scene do you put in? I sort of already answered mine with Catching the Claw. What would you put in a trailer?
Catching, that's really good. Well, you're catching me at a disadvantage here, so I should think about it a bit more. I should have thought about it last night, but I didn't, because we were up very late chatting.
Yeah. How late did you guys stay up?
Almost
Pretty late,
2.
eh? Oh,
Almost 2.
geez. Yeah, I went to bed at 12:30. Holy geez.
Yeah. So I don't, okay. You know what? It would have to be Kaladin leaping into that fray at the Battle of the Tower.
Do you show him land, or do you cut while
No,
he's
cut.
halfway across?
Yeah, cut.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
cut it across. I just because you can't show them whether he
No.
makes it or not.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe that moment for me is a big deal. Well, it should be potentially highlighted in the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That leap.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, all right. So
What else we got?
I think that's it, but I did figure out a way. So here, let's take a second here and listen to the new dramatic theme for our show called Lost.
I don't know if you can. Maybe you can actually play it.
I don't think it can.
I don't think it's coming across, dude.
It's not?
No.
Compression will the Zoom compression will stop it from sounding good.
Okay.
Oh,
I have
can't
it
do it.
on my thing here. I wonder if I can drop it in Discord so you guys can just listen to it. Let's see if I can do that.
It's not my. Okay. Well, it's cool if you wanna play it. I'm working on a Sill theme right now, but it's going to be a little more difficult.
Here, I just dropped it into the general Discord. New theme written by Jack. There we go. So I don't know if you guys can take a second and go to Discord and listen to it, and then maybe we can get some reactions if we have enough time. We're running out of time.
I've got 2 minutes left, so we're
Oh,
down to
Joel's
the
on.
wire.
Joel, you just
I
jumped
know.
up.
Santa
We're done in
Cruz.
2 minutes. We're
Everybody.
done in 2 minutes.
Hey guys. Yeah, sorry.
No, don't be. It's all good, man.
I'm on the road, so don't have a ton of it's getting around is not easy for me, but thought I'd jump on it and say hi.
Yeah, for
Hey.
sure.
So yeah, we really enjoyed last night's impromptu jumping on, and we will try to do that more. That was a lot of fun. So
Yeah, I think that what we'll do is Jack and I play in a monthly D&D game on Saturday nights, and it always ends around 10 o'clock. So I think that day every month we'll do a live, like, chat on Discord. Everyone can jump. Anybody that's available can jump on, and we can just sit around and chat and definitely not spoil Jack.
and they were so good. I was well looked after last night. I felt
Good.
very protected.
Good.
Despite my attempts to get past their shard plate, they remained intact.
Well, you literally just tried to ask them just now, like half an hour ago, whether or not Yasna was really dead. Like, I
don't know what it is.
I have to trust them, but I also have to trust you.
You know what it is with me? I can't. You know what? I think we're done. Less than a minute. We're down to the wire here, guys.
All right, guys. Yeah. So maybe we're gonna have to start buying the better Zoom so we could do longer.
I think we may have to do it.
All right, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us on this episode of Ugly Mugs.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye bye.
Guys.
See you next time.
Take care, everybody.